Welcome to this practice today. My name is Chris Punongbayan, and I'm a yoga and meditation teacher. I use he, him pronouns. Today's lesson is about creating space. Creating space is really important in today's age. We have so many competing obligations and responsibilities. There are a million different points of information coming at us at all times, 24/7, at our fingertips. And what effect this has on us is to constrain and constrict our sense of self. And what happens when we're feeling constricted and constrained is that oftentimes we don't make the best choices that we can make. And what can happen sometimes, because we just have almost this incessant barrage of obligations and duties, that to deal with it, we sometimes just go through the motions. We kind of go on autopilot, and it's a way of not having to deal with it all. But what happens when we're not fully present in each moment is that we can make mistakes, or we can make choices that don't represent our best selves. So our practice today is around creating a little bit more space. There is space there, but we just have to work on cultivating that space. So I want to share a quote that helps bring this all into crystal clarity for me. And it's a quote by Viktor Frankl, who was an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist, and he was also a Holocaust survivor. And Viktor Frankl wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom." So this is really powerful because we can sometimes just go through everything that we need to go through in our lives as parents or professionals or whatever identity and role we have to play in our lives. It feels like there is not any space at all, but there is. And if we can choose to respond rather than react to situations, we learn to grow, and we learn how to cultivate qualities of mind that are more wholesome and more skillful and more wise. We have an inner wisdom that we sometimes forget. And so our mindfulness practice helps us to create that space so that we can make a more skillful choice. So we'll practice with this a little bit in this guided meditation. And in this guided meditation, I invite you to close the eyes or to soften the gaze. And you can come to a comfortable seated position, sitting on the edge of a chair, or sitting on the floor with a cushion or a pillow underneath you, anywhere where the hips are just at the same level as the knees, or even a little higher. This just allows you to sit a little bit more comfortably for a little longer. And you can also just stand if you don't have a place to sit. And I invite you to close the eyes or soften the gaze. We're going to work a little bit on creating space. Take some time now to settle in, noticing the quality of the thoughts, noticing any sensations in the body, No need to judge and no commentaries necessary. We're just tuning inwards. If it's helpful, you can turn your attention to your own breath, and you can say, to help you focus even a little more, I am breathing in. As you breathe in, I am breathing out as you breathe out. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. In our practice today, we'll be working on finding that space where we can respond rather than react. And I'm going to invite you to think of a difficult situation that maybe you want to have a redo, a do-over on, something not too heavy, something that you can work with, maybe with a little, even with a little lightness, a little playfulness. Or you can choose a situation that you know is coming, that is also something that is difficult, a difficult person or a difficult circumstance, but again, not something too heavy. Think about what that situation is now. Now that you have that moment in mind, imagine that you have a time machine that can freeze time. And you can put yourself in that situation right now. And as that situation is escalating, go ahead and press the stop time button. Everything freezes, except for you. You have nothing but time and space. With this bit of freedom that you didn't have before, how might you choose to show up in the difficult situation or with that difficult person? How would you act differently now that you have a little more space? Is there a new perspective that you have on the situation, either about the other person or about yourself? Can you imagine a little bit more wholesomeness within yourself? Can you imagine what a more skillful choice could be that you would make in that situation? What would it be? In just a moment, you are going to unfreeze time and you will drop back into that situation in real time. Remember the choice that you are going to make. You press the button again and time is unfrozen. You choose to make the more skillful choice. What is the result? Is there a different result? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But how do you feel about making that choice? About being that more skillful and more wise person in that difficult situation? We're going to close out this meditation shortly. See if you can take a bit of wisdom from this experience with you. What would it be? You are a wiser version of yourself. You are more spacious, and you are more fully present. If it's helpful or supportive to you, maybe put your hand on your heart. And when you're ready, begin to bring the gaze back into focus, or you can flutter the eyes open. Thank you for practicing with me today, and we'll see you again real soon. Would love to know how this went for you. Please leave any comments or any bits of feedback, and I hope that you can move through your day with a little bit more spaciousness, wisdom, and presence.